right, let's get into Suspicion, a movie directed by Tosin Igbo, coming to Prime Video. The movie follows a young man who ventures into the dark depths of black magic after witnessing the ruthless murder of his best friend and his child. Of course, consumed by a thirst for vengeance, he faces moral dilemmas and shocking betrayals that threaten to destroy the bonds he holds dear. The big question now is, how far will he go to seek justice? Take a look at the trailer.
Today, you go see again here.
Now this knife, they take by Lolo.
Leave this matter. The thing with they behind this one too strong.
Now my fight be this.
As time pass, I master my powers. I sense Juju by touch.
For to come, they have anyone who you think is trying to mess with you.
I cannot think of anyone that is still alive. Find the person, whoever is responsible for this.
I've always sensed that there are others like us. As I define truth, I lose the love of my life.
What are you doing here?
Not to worry, I'm not here for you. Since you left, I've been angry.
Love is never enough. We're from different worlds.
Sometimes it passes with a man. Fit handle, and you still stand there. Gidigba. You still stand.
I never see anybody will get more than 2 powers before, but you get 3. She's here. He's in the house.
I'm on my way.
Well, joining me now from our Lagos studio, the cast of Suspicion, of the film Suspicion, Omomi Dada, Stan Nze. It's lovely to have you both join me on Arise 360. Lovely to see you again, Omomi. Lovely to see you again, Stan. I hope you've had a restful post-Afrif break.
I've tried to try.
It's been a beautiful week after Afrif.
Thank goodness. Okay, so let's talk about Suspicion. I mean, back to work, I would say. Omami, for you, how would you describe this film from your own perspective and character?
Okay, so I play the character Chisom. Chisom is a young lady who has a good heart, but she's saddled with a lot of responsibilities, and she's had to make a huge decision of either being on the good side of things or being on the bad side of things. But at the end of the day, Chisom has a good heart. Yeah.
Okay, well, Stan, I imagine you're the bad guy who delves into black magic.
If you put it that way, you make him feel like the villain. So he's the good guy. He's the actor. He's the main guy.
The protagonist.
The protagonist. So Volker is this guy that has a heart of the people, and he believes in family and doesn't believe in injustice. He wants to get justice for everybody that has been taken advantage of, and with his family, his direct friends, and his best friend, of course, and his goddaughter, we get to experience that. Yes, and he has superpowers. His mother has cooked him, and he's realized that he has some other powers right now that he didn't know that he had initially. And he's powerful. So this is going to be like our first Nigerian superhero.
Oh, okay. I mean, knowing that the film is on Prime Video, Tosin Igbo directed, I know that's amazing on its own. But the process of making this film and knowing in your mind that a film goes straight to streaming, does that have any impact on the amount of work that goes into it, or maybe a kind of solace that you find in it, knowing that, it's going straight to streaming, so, So I'm going to begin with you, Stan. Knowing that a film goes straight to streaming as opposed to going into the theaters, does it make any difference for you during your creative process?
So when we were filming, there was no. We're just making a good film. We didn't know. Of course, we knew we were going to go to streamers, but we thought we were going to hit cinemas first. So for me, whenever I work, I just put in my best, be it YouTube, be it big screen, be it, because creative work is creative work. However, I would have really loved that people got to see it in cinema because the sheer scale of this film, you know, the sound, the picture, grand, everything about it. Good thing there's a premiere happening this weekend. The 24th, so we're going to see it, you know, on big screen. However, afterwards, it's strictly on Prime Video, and people are going to see it through their screen. So, but they will still enjoy it regardless because it's beautiful.
You know, I love what you mentioned about, you know, superhero. Omaomi, you recently featured in, I would say, a classic horror story, you know, with Madame Koi Koi. So I would say you've gotten your fair share of the scary business. So would you say this is something that, you know, your
Superhero character.
yeah. But would you say this is anything similar, you know, and playing that role kind of gave you like a readiness for something like this, you know, with regards to the scary genre?
Oh no, funny thing is, Chisom doesn't have superpowers. Yeah. She's just a normal young lady who has a good head on her shoulders. And like every Nigerian, life has lifed her, and she's had to make certain decisions. So the fact that I have played Madame Koi Koi actually has nothing on this. But I definitely like the fact that this is a supernatural movie, because the truth is, one, we're Africans, and we cannot take away the fact that some people have superpowers. I mean, yes, you can say it's diabolical, you can say it's African juju, you can call it whatever it is we choose to call it, and whether or not we believe in it. Do they exist? Yes, they do exist. And the fact that we need to tell some of these stories of ours, which exist in our society for the world to see, is something that is really beautiful for me. And the creative process for me as Chisom was so beautiful. Chisom's character is, I would say, one of my very challenging characters. I love to take challenging roles, but Chisom was extremely challenging because I had to do some things that I had never done before. Some things that really scared us, even on set while we were acting.
Some things that we didn't understand.
We
you know,
did
like director is saying, pour the egg into the bag now, it's going to illuminate, there's some power here, functioning.
What we did many times in the film was we had to create with our minds.
Absolutely.
And we had to imagine things were in existence, whereas they weren't.
There was nothing there to work with.
As actors, to create the things that do not exist, because in post it will exist. So it was a tougher one to do, because you're not seeing everything plain black and white. You're creating, and it was really, really tough for us. And we got to shoot for the first time. Well, I got to shoot a gun for the first time.
Yeah, real gun props, like actual shooting. I was going to also mention that it's not horror.
No,
you know, it's just a supernatural thriller, and it's got a lot of action. So people are not going to be scared watching this film. It's just it's not this far from that. It's just upbeat, up tempo, and really dramatic as well.
Now I know that
action in it. I mean, I know Stan fought a lot.
No, I'm sorry. Please go on. I would just speak when you land.
Okay, Stan fought a lot. I fought as well, but he had more strenuous martial arts fights. Yes. Me, it was just very energetic, very mind. It was also very mind tasking. Yes, for me, as much as it was physical tasking, it was also mind tasking. Then the fact that we shot in different parts of Nigeria, Lagos,
very interesting,
Abuja, at different times.
Yes,
we had pickups, and the truth is, nothing good comes easy. When you're making a great film and you know that you're making a great film, you have to give your all to it. So even though filming it was very challenging, we knew the end from the beginning, and we knew we were making something great. So for us, it was worth every bit of challenge.
Well, I know that this film was not only technical on the acting side, but I also imagine in its production as well. You know, having to work with CGI and all of that. In terms of the technology, would you say there were elements to this film that made you know that, okay, this is something that we haven't done before and we're improving on? You know how once upon a time, when you think of CGI in Nollywood, you don't have as much of a high expectation. But I know that for this project, there are very, very high expectations for the production and how the technology came into the mix. So I'm going to let you begin with this, Stan. Talk to me about the type of technology that went into the creation of this film.
Okay, so I've seen Tosin Ingo do so. I've seen his works. He's done, things like Nneka the Pretty Serpent, which I thought had really great CGI. We saw Suspicion, which, beg your pardon, Seven, that had great action sequences. So I had no doubt. When I saw the script, so usually with this sort of script, you're reading and there's so much in blanks. They're saying, oh, this is what will happen here. And you don't really understand it because it's action sequences yet to be choreographed, CGIs, this is what is happening here, and all that. So it sort of freaked me out. However, I trusted the filmmaker. I mean, I've seen Tosin's work, so I knew that it would be nothing short of excellence, which is why I jumped on it. And so, yes, we had a lot of CGI scenes. We had some scenes that didn't make it to the film or wouldn't make it to the film eventually. We had this scene where a car was supposed to somersault while I disappear. That scene eventually didn't make it to the film, but it was good. It was nice. What Tosin had explained is that it takes away from the emotions and the intrigues of the particular scene, so we had to let that go. But film is heavy on CGI. I haven't seen it yet, but shooting it, we did a lot of that. I cannot wait to see it eventually this Sunday to experience what the world would experience. The trailer looks good. I know that we did something great, and I mean, come 28th of November, it's live on Prime, and the world would feast.
The world would feast. I think this is honestly the best time of the year because we're getting a lot of amazing projects. But Omaomi, Stan, thank you both so much for joining me and sharing your art, not only with me, but with my audience as well. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to this epic release. Well done on a great, great job.